I'll come and crash your wedding day. Sure. As long as you dare to come, I'll go with you. Emily watched her fiancé and his little girlfriend bantering, chuckling inwardly. Crash what? I'll let you have each other. On the wedding day, Emily boarded a flight to Paris, leaving behind a CD of her fiancé and his little girlfriend's love. Michael went crazy. He beat his little girlfriend until she miscarried, chased her to Paris, and demanded with red eyes, Emily, how could you be so heartless? 10 years of feelings, and you just throw them away like that. In the hallway of the Neon Club, Emily walked cheerfully with her bag, humming softly, her high heels clicking on the obsidian-like floor. She held her head high, her heart full of hope for a bright future. There was only 1 month left until her wedding with Michael. And today she had been promoted to chief jewelry designer at her company. Although her background was far from matching Michael's family status, at least she was getting closer to him step by step. Michael was wonderful. And Emily wasn't bad either. She refused to be the Cinderella others talked about, rising to success through a man. What she wanted was a love where she stood as an equal with Michael, fighting side by side, thinking of Michael. A faint smile touched Emily's face. She had wanted to call and share the promotion news with him as soon as she got the email. But she felt it would be more meaningful to see the look in his eyes when she told him in person. She knew Michael was having a gathering with friends at the Neon Club today, so she came without warning, wanting to surprise him. When Emily arrived, the door to the private room was slightly ajar. Just as she was about to push it open, she heard Michael's friend David tease him. You're still not cutting things off with Sophia even though you're about to get married. Aren't you afraid Cinderella will dump you if she finds out? Emily froze, trying to understand what David meant. When she heard Michael say coolly, I'm having some doubts now, wondering if I should marry Emily. Michael's other friends joked. After proposing 99 times over 10 years, Cinderella finally said yes. And now you're acting all high and mighty. Michael set down his glass, straightened up, and said seriously, exactly because she agreed. It feels rather dull now. I used to think Emily was special, like a snow lotus from the heavens, as noble as a goddess. But now, she seems no different from other women, obsessed with promotions and making money every day. It's utterly vulgar. Sophia is much better. She's innocent and cute. Her biggest advantage over Emily is that she depends on me, making me feel needed. Emily is just too strong. Emily's hand on the doorknob trembled slightly. She hadn't been unaware of Michael's changes since she accepted his proposal. She had thought it was because she'd been too busy with the promotion lately, neglecting him, and that his coldness was just him sulking. But now, it seemed, Michael's friends acted as if they'd struck gold, since most of them had witnessed the couple's 10-year relationship. Over that decade, Michael had always been the pursuer, taking 99 steps. And now, with only one left, he regretted it. Someone asked, the wedding's in a month, isn't it too late to back out now? A girl snuggled into Michael's arms and giggled. I'll come and crash your wedding day. Michael smirked and kissed Sophia, saying, sure, if you dare to come, I'll go with you. Besides, I want to see if Emily's always calm face can stay composed forever. Emily couldn't bear to hear any more. She fled like a clown, her heart feeling as if poisoned hands were wringing it dry, the pain leaving her breathless. The same obsidian-like marble floor only reflected cold despair now. Staggering back to the home she shared with Michael, every detail from the major renovations to the smallest decoration had been done by the two of them together. Once, everything here had been proof of their love, evidence of Michael's affection. She had thought he shared her excitement for their future. But now, Emily found it laughable. 10 years. 10 years of love. And it all boiled down to his words. It feels rather dull. Emily suddenly felt dizzy, her vision blurring. She had been crying without realizing it, her face cold, the chill reaching deep into her soul. It was indeed dull. To close the gap between them, to stand at his level, she had spun like a top, never daring to stop. She had even given up her dreams for him. How foolish I am, Emily mocked herself. She had known since her grandmother's death 10 years ago that the only person you could rely on in this world was yourself. Why had she forgotten that after meeting Michael? Emily took out her phone and dialed a number. Hello, Robert. Does Professor Brown still have openings? Yes. 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 Have you changed your mind? Robert on the other end nodded excitedly. 3 years earlier, Professor Brown had accidentally seen Emily's design sketches and was thrilled. He said, Emily is a girl full of spirit. Such talent deserves better guidance. Robert, introduce her to me. I'm confident I can make her a world-class art master. Professor Brown was a renowned instructor at the Royal Academy of Art in Paris, with countless applicants vying to be his student, but few ever earned his favor. Emily had been very tempted by the news back then. It was a rare opportunity, but thinking of Michael's neediness, she hesitated. Graduating from Professor Brown's program would take 5 years. She couldn't bear to make Michael suffer from longing, so she declined. Emily smiled bitterly. No wonder people always said that pitying men would lead to misfortune. She deserved this. Fortunately, Professor Brown valued talent and told Robert to extend the invitation. Valid for 5 years. Emily responded. I've made up my mind. Could you ask Professor David when I can come over? Robert beamed with delight. Professor David said you can come any time within 5 years. We're launching a new project in 2 months. It'd be perfect if you could make it by then. 2 months. She wouldn't need that long. It'll arrive in 1 month. Thank you, Robert. Don't mention it. It's my pleasure. After some small talk, Emily excused herself by claiming overtime work and hung up. She buried herself in the sofa, like a wounded bird. Maybe you'll crash your wedding. Fine. If you dare show up, I'll leave with you. The words looped relentlessly in her mind. Crash the wedding. Fine. I'll make it happen for you both. At 3 a.m. Michael stumbled home drunk, reeking of alcohol. A crimson lipstick stain smeared across his sharp jawline. Emily pretended not to notice as she dumped him onto the bed. Only the rigid tension in the part of her body closest to him betrayed the depth of her disgust. She shifted away, forcing herself to sleep, but failed. The mere thought of the man beside her rotting from within made her nauseous. Why? She truly didn't understand. If he'd fallen out of love, why not tell her? She wasn't the type to cling desperately. Why subject her to this repulsive charade? Unable to comprehend it, she resolved to stop trying. 1 month would be enough to sever their decade-long entanglement. Michael woke at noon. The cool, smooth sheets beside him held no trace of Emily's warmth, leaving him strangely adrift. That woman. In school, all she cared about was studying. After graduation, only her career mattered. When will she ever prioritize her boyfriend, her future husband? Frustration simmered within him, yet the thought of marrying her next month sent ripples of happiness through his chest. Admittedly, their 10-year relationship had grown stale, and her relentless emotional detachment had often angered him. She never revealed her feelings, her thoughts inscrutable. She refused to lean on him, rejected his help, declined his money, pushing him away under the guise of not being a leech plant clinging to him. She never understood. What man doesn't want his woman to depend on him? Still, despite his irritation, had never seriously considered marrying anyone else. Yesterday's words were just reckless bravado. Sophia made him feel like a hero, needed, depended upon. But flings were one thing. Marriage was another. Emily was the only woman he ever envisioned as his wife. Realizing he'd crossed a line lately, Michael decided, I'll take her to lunch. He used the bathroom and froze at his reflection. Panicked, he scrubbed the lipstick mark from his face. Did Emily see? In love. She couldn't tolerate infidelity. Back in college, she'd broken up with him just for getting close to a junior. Had spent half a year apologizing, even resorting to a self-sacrificing scheme that nearly broke him to win her forgiveness. He dreaded imagining the fallout if she'd seen that lipstick. Michael called Emily cautiously. Relief washed over him. Her tone sounded normal. Maybe it was too dark. She didn't notice. He resolved to be more careful. Emily, I miss you. Lunch today. I need to see you. His voice was tender, almost hypnotically sweet. Suppressing nausea, Emily forced a thin, humorless smile. Sure. See you at noon. Michael. Our farewell begins today. Inside the elegant Italian restaurant. A violin's lingering melody hung in the air. Emily and Michael sat across from each other, one gazing with feigned adoration, the other unnervingly calm. Michael's eyes held a liquid warmth as they rested on her, meeting his gaze. Emily almost believed their relationship had always been this steady. A wave of bitter irony washed over her. Michael, aren't you exhausted pretending? She lowered her head and focused on her meal, silently observing Michael's performance. Near the meal's end, Michael's phone buzzed. He glanced at Emily, his expression stiffening. She pretended not to notice. After wiping her mouth, she asked casually, "Busy this afternoon? Let's take a walk." Michael was startled by her invitation. He knew this was a critical period for her pending promotion. Her agreeing to lunch had already been surprising. Just as he prepared to accept, his phone buzzed again. A photo flashed on the screen. Sophia in a provocative rabbit costume, her gaze blurred and coquettish, radiating a mix of innocence and seduction. Another day. Okay. The company has an important meeting today. Michael refused without a trace of embarrassment, unaware that as he looked down at his phone, the mirror behind him had already revealed the truth to Emily. Fine. Work comes first, Emily said with a smile on her face. Her hand beneath the table clenched so tightly it ached. Michael, you're really disgusting. After Michael left, Emily also drove out. The car headed east and eventually parked in the lot at N University. Emily got out and strolled alone through the cherry blossom grove. It was late autumn now, and the cherry tree leaves drifted down like falling snow, creating a different kind of beauty compared to the season of blooming blossoms, though it added a touch of desolation. She tightened her wool coat, and her thoughts drifted back 10 years. Michael's courtship was old-fashioned. He grinned cheekily and said to her, "Hey, classmate. You look just like my girlfriend. Will you marry me and be my wife?" The classmates nearby all started teasing, but Emily thought he was crazy. At that time, she had just finished her grandmother's funeral and had gone through her uncles seizing her home, leaving her completely homeless and orphaned. In this world, she could only rely on herself. She was busy earning tuition, busy making a living, busy building a home for herself. For some people, just surviving takes all their strength. How could they have the heart for anything else? She rejected Michael mercilessly. So corny and boring. If you want to play around, fine. But don't bother me. She thought her harsh refusal would make him back off. Instead, it stirred Michael's competitive streak, and he pursued her even more fiercely. He chased her for 2 years, and she rejected him for 2 years. That was until, while working a part-time job, she was harassed by a sleazy man, and when she resisted, he slapped her. Michael, who was nearby, saw it and went wild, nearly beating the man to death. He gritted his teeth and cursed. "My girl. I'd want to hold her in my mouth to protect her, and you dare slap her." He threw punches at the man's face with reckless abandon, taking plenty of hits himself. By the time the police arrived, he and the man both had swollen faces. After leaving the police station, Michael's eyes were so puffy they were almost shut. Emily looked at his comical appearance and cried, "Are you stupid? You could have just called the police. Why did you have to fight him? Michael saw her tears and panicked, clumsily wiping them from her face with both hands. Don't cry. I'm not in pain. Emily looked at Michael, his face bruised and swollen, and cried even harder. All the pent-up grievances from those years poured out in that moment. When she finally stopped crying, she whispered to Michael, "Do you want to give us a try?" "What?" Michael felt like the world was unreal in its beauty. "If you don't want to, that's fine," Emily started to say. But Michael covered her mouth. I do, he promised earnestly, looking into her eyes. "Emily, don't worry. Choosing me is no loss. I'll love you with my life forever." Snapping back to the present, Emily pursed her lips and forced back her tears. 10 years she'd held on for 10 years. So why had he changed? Back then, this path had always felt so long. Now, walking it again. It only took about 10 minutes to reach the end. At the edge of the cherry blossom grove was a man-made lake with a few ducks floating on it. Along the shore sat 4 or 5 couples, laughing and playing, lost in tender affection. During college, she was too busy to spend much time with Michael. More importantly, she didn't want to enter his social circle. His friends were all wealthy elites who spent extravagantly. The cost of one of their meals could cover her tuition and living expenses for a semester. So, eventually, she stopped attending his group gatherings. This small lake was where they dated. She didn't want to become a barrier between him and his friends. An eagle should return to the sky. A tiger should roam the forests. And Michael should be with his friends. Emily didn't want Michael to become an outsider in his circle because of her. As for herself, it was fine. One day, through her own hard work, she'd be able to sit with them at a club, singing a song and having a drink without guilt. She was almost there. But he had changed. Emily sat by the lake as the cold wind whipped her face, watching the ripples stirred by the wind on the water. Her heart ached as if pierced by needles. The sun gradually dipped westward. Autumn sunsets always faded resolutely. The young couples by the shore, chilled by the cold, drifted away in small groups. After dark, the streetlights cast circles of light on the ground. Emily stared blankly at the lake, her mind empty. Only when the dorm lights-out bell rang did she slowly stand up. When she used to date Michael, as soon as the bell rang, she would rush back to the dorm, afraid of being locked out by the dorm supervisor. Michael's friends always joked that the dorm lights-out bell was like the clock striking for Cinderella before her transformation. So, they gave her the nickname Cinderella. Emily smiled bitterly. They were really prescient. The bell rang, and Cinderella returned to her true self. But it didn't matter. Cinderella didn't need a prince to become a princess. Afterward, Michael lit a cigarette. "Sophia, end it," he said, pulling out a card. "Hey, race 5 million. And this apartment is yours too." "Why?" Sophia asked, tears welling up in her eyes, her pitiful gaze filled with brokenness. "Don't you want me anymore? What did I do wrong? Tell me. I can change. Michael, I beg you, don't abandon me." Sophia's humble plea made Michael's heart ache. But thinking of Emily, he hesitated. Since discovering the lipstick mark on his face that morning, he had felt uneasy. At lunch, seeing Emily's expression normal, he sighed in relief. But he knew the saying, "If you play by the river, your shoes will get wet." To avoid exposure, it was best to end things with Sophia as soon as possible. He handed Sophia another card. "Be good. Hey, race another 5 million. Don't make a fuss. You know I have a bad temper." Sophia bit her lip silently, unwilling. "Yesterday, you told me to elope with you, to run away together. Why are you kicking me out today?" "Michael, I want to know what happened." A snort escaped Michael's nostrils. He pinched Sophia's cheek. "Silly girl. You're so naive it hurts. A man's drunken words in a bar. You should just listen and forget." They're not real. I have too much sunk cost in Emily. Giving up now would be a loss. Michael stubbornly insisted. Like a man refusing to admit defeat. Which Sophia saw as him being used to being with Emily. Not out of love. But habits can be changed and rebuilt. She felt envious and even jealous of Emily. Emily, compared to her, had only met Michael earlier. If she had been born a few years earlier, what place would Emily have? She was young. She was beautiful. She was unique. She was more confident. Michael was destined to be hers. But she also knew Michael's stubborn temper. Once he decided something, he wouldn't change it easily. So, she would start with Emily. From Michael's friends, she had learned a bit about Emily's personality. Meticulous, rigid, and intolerant of flaws. After thinking it through, she decided to yield first. Okay, I'll end it. But give me some time. Okay, Michael, I promise. After you marry her, I'll never appear in your life again. After all, I don't want to be a homewrecker. But what you said is so sudden. My heart hurts. Don't be so cruel to me. Okay. Michael sighed, stubbing out his cigarette in the ashtray. He knew he was cruel. In a love triangle, at least one person gets hurt. He couldn't bear to let Emily suffer any harm. Nor did he dare. So, the one to suffer had to be Sophia. Okay. One last month. Sophia smiled through her tears, snuggling into Michael's arms, stirring up another storm. While Michael wasn't paying attention, Sophia quietly turned on her phone's camera. A few days later, Emily received a call from the bridal shop. Miss Wilson, your custom wedding dress has been altered. Come try it on when you're free. Okay. Emily hung up, unwittingly sinking into memories again. This dress had been ordered before she even accepted Michael's proposal. It was the final work of the renowned wedding dress designer Louis. Not something you could buy with money alone. Back then, Michael had pestered Louis for half a year to get it. She remembered meeting Louis to confirm the design, and the relief in his deep blue eyes. Emily, my final work can serve you two lovers. It's my honor. Michael loves you very much. I wish you happiness. Happiness. Emily smiled bitterly. Maybe, but that was only in the past. These 2 years, she, in order to stand shoulder to shoulder with Michael as soon as possible, consumed herself like a tireless machine, originally weighing only over 90 pounds. Now she only has 80 pounds left. The previously set size naturally no longer fit. She was embarrassed to bother Louis. So she entrusted the wedding dress to city's largest bridal shop for alterations. After lunch, Emily drove to the bridal shop. The sales assistant who received her hesitated to speak. Ms. Emily, you've come. Well, please wait a moment. Emily frowned. Just say what happened. I'm fine. The sales assistant didn't speak. Just led Emily behind a glass door. The glass door had a light purple coating. Emily could see the scene in the fitting room. But people in the fitting room couldn't see behind it. Sophia was wearing the exclusive wedding dress that originally belonged to Emily. Proud like a pure white swan, her face wore a smile, like a peach blossom blooming in spring. Michael, do I look good? Michael had one hand in his pocket, his whole demeanor noble and lazy. Good. Good. Sophia pouted, complaining. Can you not be so perfunctory? Can you praise me properly? Michael laughed. What he liked most about Sophia was that she was like a child, simple, cute, fun. With less than a month left, he might as well indulge her. Stunningly beautiful. Beyond compare. How's that? And compared to her. Michael suddenly fell silent. He knew who Sophia meant. Behind the glass door, Emily's eyes were slightly red. She forced a faint smile and said to the sales assistant, "Send the wedding dress directly to my home. I want try it on." "It's fine." The young sales assistant rubbed her fingers. Looking terrified, She didn't know if what she did was right or wrong. Yesterday, Sophia found her, gave her $20,000 to guide Emily to witness this scene firsthand. At first, she was a bit hesitant. Later she thought, discovering this early might not be bad for Emily. But ultimately, her motive wasn't pure. Ms. Emily, I'm sorry. The young sales assistant lowered her head. Too ashamed to look into Emily's eyes, Emily patted her shoulder and shook her head. Don't say that. I should thank you. But Emily interrupted her. No matter the reason, I thank you for letting me see this. Because this way, my heart could die a little more. She didn't say the last part out loud. She turned and left the bridal shop without looking back. Take it off. The man changed expression faster than flipping a page. Michael had just been praising Sophia. The next second his face darkened as if it could drip ink. He was somewhat annoyed. Why did he agree to Sophia's stupid request? Agreeing to cut off this secret relationship after his marriage was foolish enough. Now he inexplicably agreed to bring her to try on the wedding dress exclusive to Emily. He dared not think what consequences would arise if Emily knew all this. No. It wouldn't happen. He absolutely wouldn't let Emily know. Take it off. Quickly. Okay. Sophia bit her lip, hiding her resentment in her eyes. The corners of her mouth rose, smug with a hint of mockery toward Michael. Now you panic. Isn't it a bit late? A few minutes ago, she had received the text message from the sales assistant. Emily saw it. Her face turned ugly as she left. Sophia chuckled. It seemed it wouldn't be long before she received the good news that Michael was dumped. When the time came, she would pretend to be vulnerable at the right moment. Then say things that appeared conciliatory but actually made Michael dislike Emily. She believed Michael, with his pride brutally wounded, would realize who the right person was. This was the day she had been waiting for since agreeing to be Michael's mistress. Scheming tirelessly to hook a wealthy heir like Michael. She wasn't doing it to be a mistress tossed aside after being used. Time flew by. And half a month passed in a blink. During those days, Emily endured the disgust and acted in one charade after another with Michael. Taking wedding photos, selecting wedding favors, handwriting invitations, all of it. She handled personally alongside Michael. Like a typical bride-to-be. Her face glowed with happiness daily. She bore Sophia's constant provocations with the utmost patience. Until Sophia, enraged, stormed into her office, curling her lips arrogantly. Sophia slammed a piece of paper onto Emily's desk with a sharp smack. The black and white ultrasound report showed a bean-sized life clearly visible. The legendary Ms. Emily, who supposedly can't stand a speck of dust, isn't so impressive after all. I thought you'd cancel the wedding right after leaving the bridal shop. Emily gave her a brief, indifferent glance and lowered her head to keep reading the file in her hands. Only 2 weeks remained. She had to perfect all her work handovers to honor the company's years of nurturing her. Sophia was infuriated by Emily's calm demeanor. What are you pretending for? Do you see this ultrasound report? I'm pregnant with Michael's child. Carrying Michael's baby in my belly. Emily looked up and scoffed. So what? Shouldn't you go to him about the pregnancy? Why come to me? Are you planning to birth it for me to raise? She feigned thought and nodded. Painless motherhood sounds pretty good, thanks for that. You. Sophia was speechless. She had underestimated Emily. Michael and I have been together a year. Every time he claimed business trips or overtime, he was entangled with me in passion. He said he's long tired of you and only marrying you because the sunk cost is too high to abandon. He also promised that if I object at your wedding, he'll leave with me. Emily, save yourself some dignity. Why cling to a man who doesn't love you? Or do you insist on waiting until the wedding day when I show up with this ultrasound to disrupt it? Humiliating you in front of all your relatives and friends. Oh, I forgot your whole family is dead except you. A clan of short-lived ghosts. Must have done some wicked deeds in a past life. Smack. Emily stood and slapped Sophia across the face. Her deceased family was her deepest wound. Before Sophia could recover, Emily seized her neck. Smirking coldly, she said, "If it's true, have Michael cancel the wedding yourself. Why come here barking like a dog? Let me guess. He told you to scram, but you couldn't accept it. So you're here stirring up trouble, hoping he'll dump Michael so you can take his place. But when begging, shouldn't you show proper respect? Does Michael know you're here? Should I call him and have him tell you directly?" Sophia's face instantly paled. She couldn't let Michael know she'd visited Emily. His temper might make him kill her. "Don't," Sophia gasped, knees buckling as she sank to the floor. "Sister Emily, please leave Michael. My baby and I need him." Emily released her. "Get out. And I have no sister's top inventing bonds." Sophia clutched Emily's pant leg instead, pleading meekly, "Ms. Emily, please don't tell Michael about today. With his temper, he'll surely kill me." "Fine. Now leave." After Sophia left, Emily slumped into her chair, hands and feet icy. 10 years of affection had rotted to this pitiful state. Her loathing for Michael deepened. With the final handover complete, she asked HR to keep it confidential temporarily. HR smiled. "Becoming a lady of leisure at home is wonderful. Why hide it? You've pushed yourself too hard. It's time to rest." Emily forced a bitter smile and reiterated, "Sister Lou, I need you to keep my resignation secret for now. Especially Michael." Sister Lou wore a knowing smirk. I get it. A wedding gift." Most people at the company knew that Michael had always disliked Emily being so busy and had repeatedly urged her to resign, only to be refused. This led Sister Lou to mistakenly believe Emily was quitting to surprise Michael. That was just as well, saving her the trouble of explaining. After resigning, Emily moved out of the home she shared with Michael, citing it as unlucky for couples to live together before marriage. With only days left until the wedding, Michael agreed without a second thought. Emily breathed a sigh of relief and began gradually erasing all traces of herself. Michael was too caught up in his final fling to notice everything carrying Emily's scent being cleared away. 3 days before the wedding was Emily's birthday. Michael threw her a grand party at a hotel. All the attendees were Michael's buddies, except Sophia. This time, Emily didn't refuse. Emily wore a pure white pleated skirt with a sky blue denim vest on top, a stark contrast to her usual professional suits and loungewear, leaving Michael momentarily mesmerized. He seemed to see the Emily from their university days. Pure, adorable, simple and lovely, as docile as a rabbit. Emily also noticed the nostalgia in Michael's eyes for their lost past. Yes, that's exactly it. She wanted him to remember how he had once loved her, how he had once cherished her. Only then, when the bubble of truth burst, would he feel wronged and pained? The cheerful birthday song began. Candles were lit one by one, and as the song ended, the lights went out, leaving only the swaying candlelight. Everyone held their breath, watching quietly as Emily made a wish. She closed her eyes and wished silently. First, for a fulfilling career. Second, for good health. Third, to never see Michael again in this lifetime. Opening her eyes, she took a deep breath and blew out all the candles. Michael's buddies started teasing. What wish did Emily make? Why ask? It's definitely about our Michael. Till death do us part. 3 kids in 3 years. Michael gazed at Emily with affection. Emily, what did you wish for? Was it about me? Emily tilted her head playfully. Of course it's about you. I'll tell you what I wished for later. Michael's friends burst into teasing again. Emily's blushing must be about 3 kids in 3 years. Haha. Michael's friends were a fun bunch. Drinking, playing drinking games, and smearing cake. This was the only time Emily felt relaxed around them. It could have been a nice memory. But then Michael took a call and, looking grim, said he had to leave for something urgent. Emily nodded and told him, "Important matters come first," smiling innocently. While Michael's friends exchanged uneasy glances. After the party broke up, everyone left. Emily crouched by the roadside, hugging her head and sobbing uncontrollably. On her phone was Sophia's taunting message. "Heard it's your birthday. Do you believe that with one call from me? Head ditch you and come with me." Michael had indeed gone. At Sophia's place, Michael looked stormy. "Weren't you always taking the pill? What happened?" Sophia's eyes reddened as she shook her head. "I don't know how it happened." "Get rid of it," he said without hesitation. "Get rid of it." Sophia's tears instantly fell as she pleaded pitifully. "Michael, this is our child. Your flesh and blood. How can you bear to reject him?" Michael tugged impatiently at his collar, coldly retorting, "My child. Only what comes from Emily's womb is my child. Don't you want him born as a despised bastard?" "Michael." Sophia helplessly tugged at Michael's sleeve. But in her heart, she hated Emily to the core. Michael threw another card at Sophia. "Sophia, you're a smart woman. You know what to do. I want to acknowledge this child. Starting today, we're through. Don't show your face in front of me again." Sophia panicked. She hadn't expected her plan to backfire. She clung tightly to Michael, pleading, I'm sorry. "Michael, I'll get rid of this child right away. Please don't ignore me." Michael pried her hands away. "With the wedding coming up, there's a lot to handle. I'm buying 3 days of my time for 3 million you're making a killing. Sophia, you need to learn to be content. Men like women who don't cling." With that, Michael walked away coolly. Sophia went into a hysterical rage and smashed everything breakable in the house. An outside woman. She refused to be some mere mistress. She dialed Emily's number and screamed into the phone. "Emily, I thought you were so high and mighty. Turns out you're just another gold digger who can't let go of Michael's money. Aren't you the one who can't stand any impurity? Why haven't you left him yet? Even after I've slept with him countless times. Do you really enjoy being cheated on so much? You'll regret this later." At that moment, Emily had just stood up and dried her tears. After composing herself, she calmly replied, Thank you. Sophia was stunned. "Are you out of your mind?" "Not at all. Thank you for warning me early that Michael isn't reliable. Remember to crash the wedding on my big day. I'm giving him to you." "What? What do you mean?" Sophia felt a wave of dizziness. The words sounded oddly familiar. Crash the wedding. Suddenly, it dawned on her. "You knew a month ago." Emily didn't hold back. "Yes. So, good luck with stealing him away. But I have to warn you's not a good match. If I were you, I'd stay far away from him." "So, you're breaking up with him on the wedding day?" Sophia was overwhelmed with euphoria. She thought Emily was planning to humiliate Michael in front of all their friends and family. What man could endure that kind of public shaming? Then, as the understanding woman carrying his adorable child, she'd easily win him over. It was a sure thing. "You better keep your word, ma'am." With Emily's confirmation, Sophia hung up excitedly. She mused to herself that Emily really was as naive as the rumors said. A man's love was nowhere near as important as his money. Before long, the wedding day arrived. The night before, Emily and Michael had spent 3 hours on the phone, reminiscing about their youth and dreaming about the future. But on the wedding day, Emily boarded a flight to Paris. At the hotel, Michael was brimming with confidence, practically itching to tattoo him getting married today on his forehead. Michael's mother complained irritably to a friend. "Look at him, so hopeless. He's probably going to be a henpecked husband." At first, Michael's mother had looked down on Emily, thinking she was an orphan with no connections who couldn't help Michael at all. But she couldn't resist her son's obsession. He acted like he'd lost his soul if he didn't see Emily for a day. So she let it go. Their family business had grown so big it didn't need marriage alliances to boost their status. Besides, Emily was a driven girl. Just based on who she was, she was more than a match for her son. As noon approached, the wedding organizers sensed something was wrong. They approached Michael and asked, "Why hasn't the bride arrived yet?" "What?" Michael's heart skipped a beat. He thought Emily had arrived early and was getting ready in the bridal suite. He pulled out his phone, frantically unlocked it, and dialed Emily's number. A cold female voice announced, "The number you have dialed is switched off." He tried again, only to hear the same message. "The number you have dialed is switched off." Trying with another phone yielded the same result. Just then, a young girl handed Michael a hard drive and said, "This is Emily's wedding gift for you. Please make sure to play it on the big screen at the ceremony." Michael's anxiety eased for a moment. He thought it was Emily's surprise for his wedding. Suddenly, images appeared on the massive LED screen, shaky footage from a private club room. "It'll crash your wedding day," a voice said. "Fine. If you dare to come, I'll leave with you," another replied. Michael froze. Next came scenes of him and Sophia in intimate moments. Sophia's face was blurred, but his was clearly visible to every pair of eyes in the room. Michael's friend reacted first, yanking the hard drive from the computer. Sophia rushed forward, intending to comfort Michael, but he grabbed her by the throat. "Bitch. How did Emily get that video? What did you tell her?" Sophia's face turned red from the choking, and she gasped out, "Michael, she doesn't want you. But I and the baby have always been by your side." The baby. Michael became like a bloodthirsty demon, pinning Sophia down and kicking her stomach relentlessly. Instantly, crimson spread everywhere. Chaos erupted. Sophia was taken away by an ambulance, while Michael was detained by the police. That evening, the Johnson family's scandal made the front pages of City SS entertainment and financial news. His parents blamed their son for his recklessness and resented Emily for her ruthlessness. Couldn't they have parted ways amicably? Why make it so ugly? Michael's mother began to regret ever approving of Michael and Emily being together. Girls from modest backgrounds are narrow-minded, turning small issues into public spectacles. After landing, Emily turned on her phone, and the flood of messages nearly crashed it. Before she could read them, a news alert caught her attention. Scandal erupts on Johnson family successor's wedding day. Emily let out a sigh and clicked on the story. It was bleak. Sophia's fate was uncertain, and Michael ended up in handcuffs. She couldn't define her emotions, neither joy nor sorrow, just a sense of settling the score. He had tainted her feelings. She gave him an unforgettable scandal. From then on, they were even. After resting for 2 days, Emily threw herself into intense work. Professor David's team was working on a jewelry design series themed mythology, with Emily and Robert leading the Eastern Mythology division. This was Emily's first project with the new team, and she took it seriously, immersing herself daily in research and sketching. Michael called her relentlessly, but she ignored the disturbance and shut off her phone completely. After all, she had few friends back home. A month later, Michael cornered her outside her company building. Emily was still in a neat professional suit, her long hair tied up at the back of her head with a pearl-colored hair clip. She wore delicate makeup and white high heels with pale gold trim, though her face showed fatigue. Her eyes sparkled like stars. When Michael saw her, his eyes instantly reddened. All the anger inside him melted into intense longing the moment he laid eyes on Emily. "Emily, you are really cruel," he said with a smile, his voice trembling uncontrollably. Emily remained silent. She was exhausted, getting only 5 or 6 hours of sleep each night. Her time was precious. She had a team meeting in the morning, followed by a design inspiration workshop with Professor David, then refining several design drafts in the afternoon. and researching late into the evening. All she could think about was how to quickly deal with Michael so he would stop pestering her. She smiled back, her expression dismissive. Michael, we're even now. Even. Ha. He laughed loudly, but his eyes were frighteningly red. Emily. Do you even have a heart? I've been searching for you non-stop for a month. Day and night. I'm practically dying. And you just say we're even. Emily glanced impatiently at her wristwatch. Michael, could you please stop making a scene? I'm going to be late. This morning's meeting is crucial. Stung by Emily's indifferent attitude, Michael grabbed her wrist. Security personnel at the company entrance intervened, restraining Michael, and Emily walked away without looking back, watching her resolute figure. Michael felt a deep despair. Emily had assumed Michael had some pride. After humiliating him that day, she thought he would back off. But instead, he resorted to the same relentless tactics he used when pursuing her in college. He rented an apartment next to hers, showering her with daily flowers and gourmet meals. Worried Emily might not like French cuisine, he even learned to cook. Emily rejected him repeatedly, but Michael seemed deaf to her words, just grinning foolishly whenever she spoke harshly. Eventually, Emily gave up and let him be. This went on for half a year. Michael's parents grew restless. They approached Emily. Michael's mother looked much older. The once vibrant Mrs. Johnson, now with unmistakable weariness in her eyes. She said, Emily, please, let my son go. He's my only child. And he can't keep living like this. Emily frowned. These wealthy people never learned respect. Whenever something went wrong, they blamed those they deemed beneath them. It was the same when she was with Michael and after their breakup. She replied firmly, Mrs. Johnson. That's what I should be saying. Tell Michael to let me go. My work is overwhelming, I barely have time to sleep. And his behavior is a real nuisance. Michael's mother was taken aback, growing annoyed. Her son had humbled himself to this extent. What more did this woman want? Why couldn't she know when to stop? She had turned a minor relationship hiccup into a public spectacle, which was bad enough. Besides, Michael loved her. Why wasn't she satisfied? In families of their stature, having a few casual flings was perfectly normal. Emily. That's enough. Michael knows he was wrong. And you should calm down now. Pushing this further would be excessive. She handed Emily a card. This was meant for your wedding. Consider it compensation for Michael's mistakes. Emily laughed abruptly, feeling exasperated. Mrs. Johnson. What do you mean by this? Do you still think I'm playing hard to get? Mrs. Johnson stayed silent, but her intense gaze confirmed it. Emily pushed the card back toward her. Mrs. Johnson, Michael and I are over. Over means there's no going back. Also, money isn't everything. It can't buy genuine love or mend a broken heart. Mrs. Johnson had never been rejected like this before and momentarily lost her composure. Her expression darkened as she spoke recklessly. Emily, what are you pretending? I'm telling you. Opportunities like this don't come twice. Be careful not to go too far and regret it. Emily shook her head. Agreeing to meet today was a truly foolish decision. In the evening, Emily got off work, and Michael was waiting at her door again. She sighed and said to him, Come in. Michael was stunned, and in an instant, he was overjoyed. He knew that Emily was the softest-hearted. As long as he never gave up, she would forgive him someday. Sit down. After entering, Michael looked around. Emily's room was small, and one glance took in the whole place. But it was decorated warmly, clearly with careful attention. Emily poured a glass of water and handed it to him, treating him like a guest. Emily, He began to speak, but Emily cut him off. Michael, do you know what wish I made on my birthday? What? He asked, curious but also fearful. One was related to you. I wished that we would never meet again in this life. What? Michael's cup suddenly slipped from his hand. The glass shattered into pieces the moment it hit the floor. He slowly crouched down, trembling as he tried to pick up the shards. Tears fell onto the ground, mingling with the water and splashing up droplets. He stood up and pulled Emily into his arms without another word, murmuring, "Emily, I'm wrong. I really know I'm wrong. Can you give me one more chance? I promise you this is absolutely the last time." Emily pushed him away and smiled bitterly. "Michael, we've been together for 10 years. You should know my character." Michael pleaded humbly. "Emily, just break your principles for me once. Okay, just once. Michael, how can you let me go? Wasn't it enough that you disgusted me back in China? Do you have to chase me abroad to disgust me too? Can you stop stalking me like a dog?" "What did you say?" Michael looked at Emily in disbelief. He couldn't believe such vicious words came from her mouth. But Emily had said them. "Michael, let me go. Don't be a burden to me." Ha. Ha ha. "Emily, do you even have a heart? Our 10-year relationship, you just throw it away. How can you not be hurt at all? Or did you never love me? Not hurt at all?" Emily smiled bitterly. How could she not be hurt? She only showed her pain in the lonely nights. Many times. She woke up with her pillow wet. Many times. She cried until she felt like vomiting. Many times. She wished this was all a nightmare. And when she woke, everything would return to normal. "Michael, you have the least right to bring up our 10 years. Because it was you who betrayed that bond. Why should I forgive? I don't want to spend every night sleeping beside you wondering what you were like with other women. I don't want to suspect every time you're not with me that you're with someone else. I refuse to become a resentful wife. Michael, I beg you. Let me go." Michael covered his face and crouched on the floor, sobbing. He knew he had truly lost Emily. "Can we still be friends in the future?" Emily shook her head. "No." "Good." Michael finally left, and Emily breathed a sigh of relief. Her days continued as usual. Work was fulfilling, and life had a steady rhythm. But then another uninvited guest arrived. Sophia looked 10 years older compared to half a year ago, her face full of bitterness. With none of her previous youthful beauty, Emily flipped through the documents in her hand, not looking up, and said, "What are you here for?" Sophia whispered, "I apologize to you." Emily stopped her work and looked up. "You only have 5 minutes. I have a meeting in 5 minutes. Sophia suddenly sat down next to Emily and grabbed her arm, tears streaming down her face. "Emily, I know I was wrong. Please persuade Michael to let me go. I shouldn't have sent you those videos. Shouldn't have come to you with the ultrasound report. And shouldn't have disgusted you on your birthday. I've lost my ability to bear children now. It's my retribution. I just beg Michael to spare my parents and stop retaliating against us." Emily frowned and spoke coldly. "First, don't call me sister. Second, your mistake wasn't sending me those videos, nor bringing me the ultrasound report, nor disgusting me on my birthday. Your mistake was knowingly being the other woman. Third, Michael and I have already broken up. How he treats you has nothing to do with me. Finally, you're not truly remorseful. You just can't bear the consequences and want someone else to pay for it. I'm not stupid. Why should I help you?" After saying this, she glanced at her watch and stood up. "Time's up. I hope this is our last meeting." Sophia gritted her teeth and roared unwillingly. "Emily, how can you be so heartless? You're a woman too. I can't have children anymore. What more do you want? Aren't you afraid of karma?" Emily gave a light laugh. "Then let karma punish her so that in this life, she never has to see that despicable pair again." 5 years later, Emily returned to the country. The Oriental mythology series she and Robert were responsible for was successfully completed. Just as Professor David had said, Emily became a top-tier A-list jewelry designer. Almost all the companies she collaborated with were internationally renowned brands, with design fees for a single product reaching millions. After returning to China, she and Robert partnered to establish their own jewelry brand. Their products were exquisitely designed, with a unique style that was elegant yet chic, deeply loved by women with taste. Within just 1 year, they reached the top of the industry. She could finally sit with those successful people, laughing and chatting over coffee, discussing stocks, and talking about financial trends. But the person by her side had disappeared 6 years ago. She smiled wryly. Perhaps her initial intention had been wrong all along. No matter when, a woman has only one reason to want to become better: for herself. After she returned, Michael came to see her. In just 5 or 6 years, Michael seemed like a different person. Much steadier and quieter. He asked Emily, "Do you hate me?" Emily shook her head. Not anymore. She had indeed hated him. Hated that he easily betrayed the relationship she cherished so much. She had even wished Michael would sink to death, suffer to death. Only then would she feel it was fair. But later, she stopped hating him, because without love, hatred had nothing to hold on to. Michael gave a bitter smile. He knew that this woman before him truly didn't want him anymore. After seeing Emily, Michael ran to a bar and drank alone. Halfway through drinking, he turned pale and collapsed to the floor, where he was taken to the hospital by the bar staff. When he woke up, Michael's mother sat by his bed, looking haggard with red eyes. Seeing him awake, tears fell from her eyes. "Michael, how far are you going to take this? Can't you have some pity for your mother? If you die, how am I supposed to live?" Michael stared blankly at the ceiling. Since returning from France 6 years ago, he had fallen in love with alcohol. Only alcohol could make him temporarily forget Emily. Only alcohol could briefly ease the pain in his heart. He drank day and night, until he had a perforated ulcer, until he developed early-stage stomach cancer. After surgery, he had intended to change. But seeing Emily again awakened the pain he had buried. "Mom, Emily truly doesn't want me anymore." Michael's despairing sob caught the attention of a few young nurses. During their free time, 2 nurses whispered to each other, "What's wrong with him? Did he get dumped?" "I don't know. I heard his fiancée left him on their wedding day." "Ah. Why? This guy is so handsome and seems pretty wealthy. What was his fiancée thinking?" "Rumors say he found a mistress, and the pregnant mistress confronted his fiancée." TSK. Really? Rich people sure know how to play around. If I were his fiancée, I wouldn't stand for it either. Not even married yet and already sharing a husband with another woman. Disgusting. The 2 nurses, thinking they were whispering quietly, but their discussion entirely reached the ears of Michael. Disgusting. Yes. Disgusting. That's exactly what Emily said. Other women think it's disgusting, let alone Emily, who was once such a proud girl. "Sorry." Michael sent a text message to Emily. After seeing it, Emily paused for a moment. Robert asked her, "What's wrong?" She smiled and shook her head. "Probably sent it to the wrong person."